Hi, welcome to my April writing wrap up. My name is Anna, and I do want to go over a few disclaimers before we get started. This is my fifth time recording this video because my microphone died, and then after my microphone died, I left this thing in my phone as I record. And if you've ever used this, you know while this is in your phone, it doesn't record the audio. With that said, I also do have asthma and I speak really fast, so sometimes as a result of this, I go breathless. So, also, I'm not apologizing for that, but if it's a bother, then I do apologize. Okay, so I had to put my phone in Do Not Disturb because I don't like when the notifications come in while I'm recording my video. So I have my little notebook which has all my stats. I'm going to share all the milestones and updates from the month of April, word count, current word count, any word goal, and then I'm going to share the same thing that I hope to happen in May. Milestone goals, any updates, anything that I want to achieve in the month of May. So I'm going to start off with April. So we started the month with 6,155 words, which is the amount of words I ended the month. I end the month of March with. And then I set a goal to write 66,000 words for the month of April. I always want or always plan to write 3,000 words every day. And April had 22 writing days for me, so that's how I got to 66. Off that, I only wrote 9,281. However, I only ended the month of April with 2,249. How, you may ask, and I'm more than happy to answer. So, I was redoing my hair. If you've been here long enough, you know this was not how my hair usually was. I bleached it, I did some stuff that I was looking for a change, and so here we are. And while I was redoing my hair, I was watching some TV show on Netflix called The Paradox. And while watching The Paradox, and this is feeling like some sort of butterfly effect, except it's not. And while watching The Paradox, or maybe it is a butterfly effect. I don't fully understand what's a butterfly effect, so I'm going to leave. Just forget I said any of that. So while I was watching The Paradox, I got the premise of book two just came to me. And then as I was doing some dishes the following day, the premise just re solidifies. And so I have this wicked ass idea for book two. And the only way it's going to make sense in book two is if I start leaving Easter eggs in book one. And so I got the wildest, craziest, stupidest, you may think, idea to rewrite this book. So I rewrote this book for the 110,000th time. But here we are. And from in deciding to rewrite the book, I then realized that the inciting incident that changes the trajectory of my world happens in chapter, if it's not chapter 7, it's chapter 9. I know it started in my main girl's POV because it's a dual POV novel. And so that's another reason why I had to restart the book because I needed to start the inside incident from, and I was having trouble doing this because I thought that if I did this based on how I want to project my world, the premise of my world is that there is peace between the five factions, and I didn't see any other way I could show that peace without showing that peace. But when I decided to restart, I realized that I could restart, and the inside intent is that which is going to go missing. No one has ever gone missing on this in this world. And so when I started writing on the 28th, because that's when I restarted this, I realized that I should have been doing it this way because it's a lot better. You get to see the piece displayed and how this missing which affects people right now from chapter one. And then I just love it this way, and I'm sorry, and I'm kind of like upset myself that I didn't think of it this way. And thank God I love to read because I've been reading a lot of other fantasy book, and I realize that they always try to start this, if not the first chapter, the second chapter. And the way how the story is, it wouldn't make any sense from the second chapter. If you're gonna do it in the second chapter is gonna be my main guy's POV. So it would have been the third, and I just think that would have been too far. So I started from chapter one, and I love that. So that's as far as any updates go for the month of April. As you know, I didn't really meet any milestones because I didn't hit any goals. The only goal I had was to write 66,000 words, which I didn't. And for the month of May, I want to write 90,000 words. And I know someone's out there saying, girl, you didn't write 66,000. Why do you want to do 90,000 words? I am positive that I will not be rewriting this story again because the premise for book two that I have in my head, I'm so in love with. I've already told my mom and her girlfriend, and they're like, my mom says I have too much time on my hands, which I do, and so I really love how this is going. And there's something that happened in at the end of book one, which which makes some level of sense to book one at the end of book one. But when you see it happening again in book two, and that you realize that, wow, that's what she was talking about in book one, it's kind of like, as you can see how happy I am. So I know that I'm not rewriting this book again because I love where this book is going. And I know I just want to stop and say, if you're currently writing, I've been writing this book since April, no, since November of last year. However, I've had the idea for this book since 20 2022. I've gone through so many name changes, I've gone through so many main idea change. So this idea for this book has been a really long time. And I say this to say that you can't rush creativity. It's gonna come to you, and you're just gonna have to be patient because if I was to go back to tell my 24-year-old self that, girl, you're writing that book, I know she wouldn't believe me. So I just wanted to say that. So if you're writing right now and you think that you're stuck, or you think that your ideas, like, to me, I get some of the best ideas when I'm doing things that do not involve writing. Like, some of the best ideas I get is when I'm walking my daughter to the bus stop and I'm coming back home. Some of the best ideas I have is when I'm just watching a movie and not thinking about my writing, or when I'm on a walk and I'm listening to another book, or when I'm on a walk. Or I've had this idea. There's what this Sunday I got this idea when I was actually dreaming, and I woke up and I was like, oh my God, and I just immediately wrote it down. And so the deadline for this book to finish is June 30, and that's the reason why I want to write 90,000 words in May. As a matter of fact, I'm currently doing a 30-day writing challenge, so I should hit the 90,000 words by May 27. And hopefully, if I hit the 90,000 words by May 27, because we'll still have like 4 more days in May, I'll still write those days, so I could go probably up to I could go to 100,000 words. Oh my God. Just imagine writing 100,000 words in a month. Oh my God. So hopefully the audio isn't that bad. And if it is, thank you so much for staying. I do want to hear, what are your writing goals? Is there anything you want me to share about my writing? I'll be more happy to share with you. This is a community where each one help one. So I do want to thank you so much for watching. I hope you have a wonderful year, month, week, day, hour, minute, second, and I'll see you in another video. Bye.